Pattaya City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
We're going to get to look at another thing that's been started up much more recently, which is also about excellence and doing all the things he talked about, efficiency and compassion, etc. And we're going to start with George. Come on up, George. Come on. No, you won't. You're going to at least... You sure? All right, well, George has wimped out, but he's come along in leaps and bounds. He's going to share his story. I got involved in this story because I suddenly got a phone call. I've fallen over and I've dislocated my shoulder. And I took him to a hospital that I have a very strong opinion about. The two hospitals I have the strongest opinion about are PIH and Jomtien Hospital, because the Jomtien Hospital I've had a few people stay there on respite sort of care, and they've been staying there for a week at a time. And I think it's only about 15,000 baht a week, but then there's extras for extra care like physio, etc. So it's well worth putting Jomtien Hospital on your list. And a lot of it's part of the same complex that Bangkok Pattaya Hospital is in. So a lot of the doctors are the same. They just drive down the road to Jomtien Hospital. All right, George, tell us about your journey.
I just wanted to share that in life everything can change. I went out one morning with a bag in my hand to go shopping to get on my motorbike, and I fell on a step that was probably 4 centimetres long. I fell on my face. That's why my nose looks like it does now. I broke my glasses, I damaged my knees, and I managed to break my shoulder. So I had my phone with me and people tried to get me up, and then I rang Ren and Ren took me to hospital, and that was a journey of about 8 or 9 weeks. I spent 42 days in hospital wondering whether I was going to live or die, and finally Ren and all my friends got me out, and now I'm working to get back to humanity. I can walk a little bit. I have to have a walker in case I fall over, but I just wanted to share with you that it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, things can change 1000%. So I've spent all that time in hospital. I've had magic treatment from the hospital. That was Jomtien Hospital. I've had magic treatment from SIMS we see here. I have somebody helping me even now, sitting next to me, Sam, to help me. I should be back on deck working in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, but I want everybody to think about today we walked down the road, tomorrow we could be in hospital, and I thought I was going to die. But the help that's been given to me by people here, my friends, the hospital and SIMS, has been just bloody amazing. I want to cry. It's that bad. So just be careful, please.
Here. And one of the things I want you to take away from that straight away is the importance that he had a phone, okay? I've heard George has lately tell me about he has friends that go out and leave their phone at home. Are you kidding me? Your phone is an incredibly important safety device, okay? We're going to talk about that in a few weeks about emergencies and how you can better set up your phones for emergencies, etc. And come on up, Panukorn. She's a little bit nervous about giving a talk. All right. So give her the microphone. Now, George had very good help in hospital, and also he had help from Dr. Davey, who couldn't be here, he was away, and he came in and clarified certain things about his treatment that the doctor didn't communicate quite as well as Dr. Davey did. People know who I mean by Dr. Davey, generally speaking. Unfortunately, he can't stand up and say hello, but he's very willing to help people, and he came and called in on George and really helped clarify his treatment and what was going on. I thought he might have had a hospital-acquired infection, but it was an infection he already had. etc. And then it got to a stage where he was strong enough, I believe, to come out of hospital. And so we actually got the phone number thing from a thing the doctor left near the bed for SIMS. And I phoned them up, and it turns out I know this lady, Panukorn. I've known for how many years, do you think?
Might have been 5-6 years.
Yeah, quite a while. Yes. And I cannot say enough about how exemplary they were with this whole process of getting him into home support as well. Because what they did, they came in, they interviewed him, they looked at what sort of level of care he needed. Did he need to go into a nursing home? Did he need 24-hour care? Did he just need day care? They decided he just needed the minimum thing of day. They decided he needed daycare, which he did. And so then he came home, and as soon as he came home, he just improved in leaps and bounds because he was much more motivated. But also they were there when he was transported home. They went to the hospital. They talked about his medications. They were part of the process of getting him back to his room. And this lady, we'll talk a little bit about her background, but she's studied chemistry and stuff. And she was incredibly meticulous to make sure he was getting the right medication. She bought a pill box with, the different times of the day, put everything in the pill boxes so that when the hands-on support came, they would know exactly what pills to give him and when. She went and bought medication for him. This is about my highest compliment for people, exemplary, okay? They have been exemplary. So just tell us a bit about yourself and SIMS and the journey.
Oh, we started out as a small company.
Well, tell us first, a little bit about yourself. You studied chemistry, is that right?
Yes, I did chemistry in Cardiff. And once I've graduated, I've stayed here for a while, right?
And it started off with your uncle or something.
Yes, my uncle, Mr. Ronicket, was sick. So he had a stroke, sort of a stroke, really. So he was bedbound. So we took care of him in the home. Sorry. We took care of him in a home for a while, and then we thought, okay, we might as well open this up as a nursing home. So I've met Kanika here as a nurse who took care of him for a while. Yeah. So
you saw, okay, this is Kanika. You just stand up where you are. This is Kanika, the other co-owner and administrator of SIMS. And what does SIMS stand for?
Serenity International Medical Services.
There you go, Serenity International Medical Services. And so she saw an opportunity, right? It's this lady who's very efficient, who was looking after her uncle, and she said, there must be a demand for that out there, right?
Exactly.
And so tell us,
so we
went from there.
opened up a nursing home. It was a long process, filing for the regulations to get approval for the
So you started up a small nursing home as well as the home care.
Exactly. So we do home care, management services, basically anything you ask for, I'll give. Yes.
No service is too small, no check is too large, please.
Yes.
So the minimum, but you do even less things where you're not just doing in-home care, they just come around certain hours of the day or something, is that right?
We do that sometimes, yes. Going into patients' houses at certain times of the day. For example, some patients just need to take their medications, for example. But usually, we take care of them either during the day or perhaps 24/7. For example, with dementia patients, which we tend to specialize in, they need care 24/7.
So this is something I really want you to take away from this. You need to know this, not just because you might need it, but you might have friends, okay? You will have friends who are going to need home care at some stage, I would say. So you really want to take the phone numbers down and have that contact thing. Obviously, there'll be an article about it. And the cost is extremely, obviously, a lot cheaper than staying in a hospital, right? All right, so that's one of the main considerations. And also, George has just blossomed since he got home. He's like so much more motivated. He's getting up to he's motivated to, learn how to use the toilet again. He's motivated to get up to his desk and phone people, etc., etc. So do you find that's quite common, that people seem to blossom once they go home out of the hospital?
I think so. I think a lot of people like to live in their home environment. It's a lot more familiar to them, I think. Yes.
Yeah. So what else do we want to share about your journey?
Oh. So we start as a small company. The first few patients, right, usually I start with first 2 or 3 patients. They were all Parkinson's patients, so, really difficult to take care of. At first, they seem fine. Family members also need to be very aware of the patient's conditions, because at first they might seem normal to you, and after a while they start showing, neurological symptoms or other types of dementia as well. So patient's family have to be very aware of that. I had one patient, if you remember Bill, he had lots of friends. He was an absolutely nice guy, right? Lots of friends. And then friends reported to me that, he was trying to kill himself. He was aggressive. And the first few days that we took care of him, he tried to kill the caregiver. Yes, he really did. And he tried to jump the building as well. So I really emphasize the mental treatment of patients. That is just about as important as a physical health. So, yeah. So Bill was on medications afterwards, and he's turned into a completely different person. We took care of him until the end, 2 years later, until he died from complications related to COPD. But yes, he had a good quality of life after care. Yeah. So yeah, that's his doctor right there, a neurologist, Serenity. Yes. But yes.
And a lot of your staff are recruited out of hospitals, correct?
Yes. Everywhere, every single hospital in Pattaya.
Just be careful, she's going to steal your staff, okay? Be careful.
Yes. No, they work part-time, so the shifts wouldn't affect them too much. But I train every single one of them. She does as well.
Yeah, I cannot I've got a few things going through my head. Has anybody here had a friend develop Alzheimer's when they've been here? Just me? Am I the only one? Surely not. But I had he used to come here as a member, and I saw he had Alzheimer's. In fact, the first time I met him, I thought he had Alzheimer's. He had that glazed look in his eyes, and my mother had Alzheimer's, etc. And I just thought, oh, he's got Alzheimer's. Do you think I could convince any of his friends that he had Alzheimer's, that had known him for years? I said, he's got Alzheimer's. Oh, no, he's just putting it on. Blah, blah, blah. It was unbelievable. And complications ensued from that. So one guy took his passport, so he couldn't get out of the country, and he said, where's my passport? I want it back. And the idiot gave it back to him. And the next thing we hear, he's at Suvarnabhumi flying to England, because he's going to get back together with his ex-wife, which of course was never going to happen. And try to be aware that a lot of people get mental deterioration as they get older, and Alzheimer's is very serious. We found Namtip nursing home for him, and he was kept there for a reasonable sum. And of course, visiting people with Alzheimer's, it's the funeral that never stops. There's not much point for it, because what happens is they may not recognise you when you get there. As you're talking to them, they walk off, and as soon as you've left, it's like you never visited. So, yeah, it's heartbreaking, Alzheimer's, of course.
Yeah. I'd like to emphasize that early treatment is the best course of action for Alzheimer's. Your quality of life is so much better.
Yeah, well, in those days they didn't have treatment.
But that only buys time in the end, however. Yes.
And so we've heard about, is that the most difficult one you've had, the one that was trying to kill the staff?
Oh, yes.
Usually it's better. Usually it's easier than that.
After treatment, he's so much better. But also, I think late-stage Parkinson's disease patients are also very difficult, because their blood pressure tends to be destabilized. So you have to watch them very carefully. and they're also very sensitive to medications, so dosage titration is a must.
So you're getting from this how meticulous she is about medications and things like that. They're always testing George's blood. He has diabetes for his blood sugar level, and she's rousing on him for having carbohydrates and things like that. So she's really. And the other thing is, have some quality friends. George has really benefited from Barry, who's given a couple of talks here, coming around and forcing him to walk and exercising and stuff like that. So yeah. There's an old saying, by their friends you shall know them, right? So make sure you're a quality person who has quality friends.
So another thing I'd like to add was lifestyle modification is always better than going for more medications when it comes to non-communicable diseases anyway. Yeah.
And the other thing is, when, again, she's not like looking to gouge you, like with George. She said, well, how long do you think? She just said a month, and I said, I think that's all he's going to need is a month of home support, and he's got 12 days more, something like that, I think. And that's probably going to be right? Then you're out of jail. Good on you. Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
Anything else I'd like to add? Well, I think George is on his way to recovery. I'd like him to eat better, though, still. I'm sorry. But, again, I think everybody can make improvements. We'd need a lot less care if that's the case for everyone.
Amen to that. Is there any... Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, is there any questions that people have of... Obviously, Dr. Sunya's not here to answer questions, but if there's any questions you'd like to ask about home care, all right, I'll come down. You stay there.
Can't wait to get down, could I?
Thank you very much. Enjoyed your information. Do you have a website that discloses or tells people what you do and what your charges are, etc., etc.?
We don't have a website at the moment, but we do have a Facebook page, and she runs a Facebook page. Yeah.
Any other questions?
We don't have that at the moment, but I think we have our business card, I think, which shows the Facebook page too, right? Or no?
Okay, another question over here.
Thank you. This was really great information. I was a home health care aide in the United States for a short period of time, and it's absolutely devastating what happens to our elders in America, especially those who do not have a lot of money. They really, really struggle with even in-home health care. So it's really wonderful to know how great it is what you do. My question is, have you had any experience where a patient who is in a combative state also is refusing medication? And if so, how do you deal with it? What kind of rights does the patient have, and where do you get to say, no, that's not safe, we're taking over? Because it's very, very specific in the US, and it can be very, very difficult for family members to ensure that their loved ones get treatment if they are combative and able to still refuse care because they're considered of some degree of sound mind. Thank you.
Well, that's a hard concern to address, first and foremost. Yes, we've had experience with patients like that, and the law is of concern here. But usually, we'll talk to them. Usually we can talk them down and say, okay, this is not good for you. But usually, if they're still walking around, that could be a concern. But if the patients cannot take care of themselves, they will have to be taken care of and hospitalized if necessary, if we deem it necessary. Yes.
So we're just having a quick look through the slides here. You can see shots of the nursing home there.
Yes, we're quite small at the moment. We can only take 5 patients in the nursing home, but
So-
we focus mainly on home care.
So if you think you're going to need it, book up in advance. And there's the management team.
Yeah.
So there you go. So this is one of the good things about them is that, of course, they're not thinking, oh, we have to get you into a nursing home or we have to have 24-hour care for you. They will assess you on your merits of where you are and what you need, and they won't try to force full-time care on you when you only need daytime care, etc. So, as I say, they were just unbelievably exemplary in assessing George and arranging really the minimum amount of care he needed. So, but do yourself and your friends a favour by knowing about this sort of service, okay?
Okay, when our patients are in the nursing homes or even home care, in some cases, we do lots of activities as well. You know, taking them to birthday parties and things like that. And if you need to see a doctor, for example, I can help you communicate as well. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, look how perfect her English is, etc. So, yes, and this is a very, very good tip. The communication with doctors, especially Thai ones, can be a bit of an issue. So, now, any more questions?
I just want to say one more thing. The standard of care is above excellent. Sam here is my carer. He does everything for me. He looks after me. He goes shopping for me. He buys things for me. It's just bloody unbelievable. So if you need care, talk to them. They are just amazing. They make illness seem so much better.
Thank you.
All right, well, so we saw a little of the journey of healthcare in Thailand from the earliest days of when it was just a village up until now when you can get home health care. You can get, they're often talking directly on the phone about what state he's in and what he needs, etc. Sam, for instance, George needs something from Faskino's pharmacy. Boom, he's on his motorbike, goes down, buys it, comes back. It's really quite amazing, really. And we've got a small token of our appreciation here for your talk, for your information, Panukorn. And also pass this to George. And come back on the stage. Come on. I know you don't want to do any more exercise. You've done enough for the day. I'm just joking. No, stay on stage. Come on stage. Come on stage, everyone. Yeah, come on stage. Yeah, no. You're here for Dr. Sunya representing healthcare, etc. Come on.